And in this particular video, we are going to thoroughly investigate and find out precisely what exactly caused these specific tires to wear so excessively and dramatically on the inner portion, while the outer section of the tire remained in an almost brand new pristine condition. This phenomenon was observed consistently on both the driver's side and the passenger's side of the vehicle. In the preceding video, I clearly demonstrated and showed that the inner part of this particular tire here has a mere 3 millimeters of usable rubber remaining, whereas, quite contrastingly, on the outer circumference, we still possess a healthy and substantial 7 millimeters of rubber. In other words, it wore down 4 millimeters more rubber on the inside than on the outside. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe now, because every time we post a new video, you'll get notified. All right. So here's the deal. We already have our 3D alignment equipment set up, right? This is the car we looked at in the previous video. So if you haven't watched the previous video, I recommend you check it out. The link will pop up here above in a little box. So in the last video, we checked the car's suspension, did a diagnosis, and shared it with the customer. Now here you can see that I already have all the parts the customer approved for replacement. So shock absorber, mount, strut bearing, steering rack, rear bearing kit, CV joint boot. Then he called me and said, look, I don't want to cut corners, just put in a brand new front strut, put in new front springs. I want this car to feel like a rubber ball, you know? So we diagnosed the parts that were worn out and needed to be replaced. And he made a specific request, which was to add the replacement of 2 front springs and also the replacement of 2 front shock absorbers. So we know that any play, any kind of looseness in the steering rack, or in other words, any looseness in the suspension system, tie rod ends, inner tie rods, steering rack, the sector itself. So any play in the steering system, any looseness at all in the suspension system can cause tire wear. But in that particular case, the play in the steering rack is quite significant, but even so, it's not enough to cause such excessive tire wear, right? As you can see, I already showed this at the beginning of the video as well. So what's going to happen here? Look, there isn't any play in the control arm bushings because that usually causes a lot of wear. Control arm bushings cause a lot of wear. You notice a huge difference. Another thing that causes a lot of wear is play in the tensioner support, but this one doesn't have that play. Another thing that causes a lot of wear is the ball joint, but this one doesn't have any play either. So why did this car have such significant tire wear if the only part on this car that had play was and still is the steering rack? So what am I going to do? I am now going to carefully install the specialized alignment equipment onto the car and then proceed to accurately take the precise toe and camber readings. So based on my experience, I believe this car might have a lot of toe out, meaning the wheels are pointing outward too much, or it could have a lot of negative camber. Or it could potentially be both at precisely the same time, but for now, that's just my current suspicion. So, at this very moment, we're going to proceed to install the necessary diagnostic equipment and then meticulously take a comprehensive reading so that we can truly and absolutely be sure about what's actually happening, what exactly happened to this particular vehicle. We're going to significantly speed up this specific part of the video a little bit to help save some valuable time, alright? And one more critically important thing, I want to personally invite you, if you genuinely want to become a truly distinguished, highly qualified, and exceptionally professional individual. If you want to stand out in your area by delivering high-level service, I invite you to join our vehicle alignment course, which goes from basic to advanced. The link is in the description of this video. So now we already have the reading on the equipment screen. After moving to the sides, you'll notice here that I look at the steering wheel. Check out this great tip here. Let me turn on the flash here. I turned on the flash, so the steering wheel is tilted down to the right. So I turned it 10 degrees to one side, 10 degrees to the other. When it tells me to return to 0, I set it to 0 on the screen. More or less at 0. When I look at the steering wheel, it will be crooked in the position where the car is driving straight ahead. So if you did this movement and looked at the steering wheel and it's straight, what does that mean? It means the car is going straight with the steering wheel straight. But that's fine. This is just a little trick. So here on the computer, let's observe the following situation. Look how interesting. Just as I predicted, it's absurd. It's absurd. The total alignment, the front wheel toe out. This wheel here, this black arrow, is outside the green point. So it's towed out, it's open, it's negative. Adding the toe out of this wheel with this one, it's 12.3 millimeters, almost 12.5 millimeters. That's enough of a reason for it to tear up the tire. It drags the tire on the inside. Why? This wheel is as if it wants to go that way over there. It turns in that direction, wanting to go over there. And this wheel, as it moves, turns as if it wants to go that way. So both wheels are diverging, one moving away from the other. Now, in the case of camber, this camber is perfect within the specification, right? You notice that wheel over there wore a little less, and this wheel here, look, it wore a bit more, because besides the alignment being open, the camber is also open. You can see that the rear axle has a slight toe-in deviation on that wheel over there. The rear camber is good. The toe is good. The thrust angle here is reasonable within tolerance. The camber here is good. We would just need to make a small adjustment to the toe here, okay? Maybe I'll do that in the next video. So to sum up, here it is. Here's the explanation for why this car wore out both front tires so quickly. So the alignment, as I had predicted, the car has an open alignment of 12.3. But Nonato, what is the normal amount for the alignment to be open on a car like this? That's an interesting question. So if I have a car with an alignment opening of 2, meaning the front wheels, the alignment is open by 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters. That's already enough to wear out the tire a lot. So if 2 millimeters out of spec already causes irregular and significant tire wear, just imagine 12.5 millimeters, okay? So basically that's it. This video ends here. If you liked it, click like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because every time we post a new video, you'll get notified, all right? And who knows, maybe this car here might still end up in more videos here on our channel, okay? And then you can follow along, binge watch the series of videos about this vehicle. Deal? So that's it.